For the 7 years you've been in America, you had a different type of profession in your own country. You say you're doing hairdressing and other things. But we know for sure now you are a nurse. You went into a profession to become a nurse. Few things. Number one, did you decide to become a nurse because all immigrants or majority of immigrants become the nurse? Or it's just because we know it is a stable job, whatever? What are the reasons behind to study nursing? And related to that, what are the steps did you take until you became a nurse?
Okay, now first of all, when we came EBM, even if you win a DV when you're a nurse or a doctor or whatever, they're not going to come and let you practice here. Even if you're qualified, they will not. There's those steps that you have to go through. But when we came here, the first thing that I did was to look for a job that would sustain us, because that's what you look at. You do not look at the profession that you are going to do. You look at the work that is going to sustain you. So what I did, and it's good when you're a legal permanent resident, I went to, there's an office in our state. So I went there, and it's a state office where people get help. And I had read in that little book, I'm telling you that little book really helped. So when I went there, it's called the workforce, and they train people, they pay for you your fees, and then you get a job. It's called the workforce. So I went to the workforce, and I had my passport, and by that time, my green card had not even come, because it took a while before my green card came. So I went to the workforce, and you do a test. They give you several tests to do: math, English, and language, and then they enroll you to a course that you want to do. So I was enrolled to do CNA because I knew that if I did CNA work, then it would be faster. It's an easier course that you do for a month or two, and at least you can put bread on the table, because that's the most important thing. You have to be able to be on your feet. Because we were hosted, but we didn't want to stay with our host for a long time. We did not want. It's not that our host was bad; he was really nice, but we were proactive. We wanted to have and start our own life. So we started low. So I started becoming a CNA, and I remember even my husband just got a job in healthcare, but he wanted to do something else. So the first thing that we did is to start with
survival.
But then, you have to look for a way to put bread on the table, because you have all the right paperwork. And the first, actually, when we came, we went to the Social Security the next day. We didn't rest. We went to the Social Security. We went to the ID place. So we had, when you go for the ID, they give you that little paper. The social, they will tell you to wait. So that little paper, it's called the temporary ID and the passport. You get a job with that one. So that's how, because my husband got his job first. And then me later, after I enrolled with the workforce, I went and became a CNA, and I worked for a while. But why I wanted to become a nurse is because when I was young and I finished Form 4, I really wanted to go to nursing school. But my mother could not afford. My mom was single, and at that time, there are so many kids in the family, and when you're finishing high school, there are 3 or 4 who are still in high school. So I never made it to that. So I was like, why not go to school? So what I did, because I'm a parent and I'm a wife and I have other responsibilities, I have to work, I started doing my classes online, because what you do, you have your Form 4 certificate. Of course, you must have that one before you start to apply for something like nursing. So I went to my college and I gave them my transcript. But they told me, this one, we cannot go by this one. So what we are going to do is that we're going to send you to a different website. You scan the copies, you send them, and then they will give us an equivalency. So that's what they did. That was before I was even enrolled. And then I went and did a test. It's called an entry test, whereby they test you on math and English for them to know the level that you are on. And I remember, especially something like math, when I did mine, I wanted to do college algebra, because college algebra is a requirement for nursing, but I couldn't do because my level was a little bit lower. So they told me to do college algebra with review. Other people, they do intermediate college algebra, whereby it's the lowest level. You see what I mean? So it depends. Your certificate, where you are at the range that you are, is where you are. So I did math, I did English. English, you have to do Comp 1 and Comp 2. It's composition. You read books and then you talk about those books. And then I did psychology. So I'm talking about the prereqs for nursing. That's what I'm talking about. And then I did biology. Biology is a prereq. It's a requirement for anatomy and physiology, because you have to do anatomy and physiology before you get to nursing school. And then I did public speaking. Where
that's why you do well in YouTube, you see? That's why you do well on YouTube.
Yeah, you know, public speaking. Even right now we are doing public speaking, right? Even that's what we're doing. You have to do public speaking because you have to be able to talk to people and, you know, like keep people engaged. And then now, after you have done all those prereqs, remember the one thing that I tell people is that make sure that your GPA is high or your grades. So aim for an A, because when you want to go to nursing school, it's very, very competitive. Aim for that A, so that your GPA is higher from 3.6 to 4, so that you can be picked to nursing school. Because if you have a low, they say maybe from 2.5, but you find that you're competing with people who have 3.6 to 4.0, so you find that you might never get into nursing school if you don't have high grades. But so I finished my prereqs and I was ready to go to nursing school. But there was another test that I had to do called a TIS test. Now, the TIS test is not easy. It's a test. They test you on English, they test you on language, they test you on sciences, they test you on math. And they require you to have a certain grade. It depends on the college. And for you to be accepted in nursing school. And I remember I did that test and failed. I failed it the first time. I failed it the second time. But I did not give up. I never give up. But you know that the American English is a little bit different. You have to know some words, because where I was failing is on the English comprehension, like the compositions that they give you passages to read. That's what I was failing. And you know, you might say that English is easy. English is not easy. English is very hard, especially English literature. But I got it that time. And then after I got it, now I went to nursing school. So most of my classes, my prereqs, I did them online. And why I chose to do them online was because I have to take care of my children and I still have to work. So online, I can even do the homework on my phone. You know, in my car, I can do it. So it was easy for me. But when it came to nursing school, I had to stop working. And you know, someone might ask now, how do you stop working and who supports you? You have to have a good support system. For me, I have a very good support system, because even right now, I'm planning to go back to school in January, because going to school doesn't mean that your bills will stop being paid. And bills come here every month or every whatever, they just come. So they have to be paid. And yes. So I went to nursing school and I did my LPN. And it just took me, I did the accelerated course just for 2 semesters and I was done and I graduated, and now I practice nursing. Now it's going to be 3 years in November. And now I'm going back to get my associates, because there's an opportunity when you come here. It doesn't matter what age you are, there's an opportunity, and that's how you go to nursing school. Yeah.
How much average do you get paid for, even if not exactly, but just the rate for state like Kansas, right Missouri?
Now, let me talk. Yeah. Like right now, if you're an LPN, I'm gonna talk about agency. If you go to work for agency, you get from $30 to $35 an hour.
How much?
And they pay you by $30 to $35 an hour. Yeah, you get that. And if you decide to do travel nursing, there's something called travel nursing, whereby you work. You're in this state, you can go practice in Missouri, you can go practice in wherever you go. They pay your air ticket. Those ones you get a lot of money. You find that you can even be paid even $70 an hour. So it depends on the kind of nursing that you're doing. You choose. You get to choose what you want to do so that you can make money. Yeah, but nursing, you make a lot of money. For me, why I did nursing is because I always wanted to do nursing, but I didn't get that.
But now you had even extra reason, because the nursing here pays more than nursing in Tanzania.
Yeah, it does.
Or in Kenya or in Uganda, because what you are making in a month as a nurse here is an annual salary of a nurse in
Kenya or in Africa or somewhere in Africa. That's the truth. And of course, there's something that I have noted about the medical field here, that there is a lot of accountability. Like what you're doing, you have to do it right. You have to do it right by your patient, because if you do not do it right, there are consequences. I just like that system whereby you have to do it right. And definitely, you're not even doing it because there are consequences, but you're taught how to do it right. And if you do it wrong, there are consequences. So you have, when you're going to work every day, you're dealing with these patients, you're dealing with everybody, you have to know that you have to protect your license, because it's not easy.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here and tell you that nursing school is easy. Nursing school, it takes a lot of hard work and a lot of dedication and a lot of reading until you get it. Yeah.
For when you are talking, I understand, but for when you are talking, you are just mentioning LPN, CNA, then we have RN. Can you give a little bit brief? What are those and what makes the difference, just in a high level?
So a CNA is an assistant who is an assistant for the nurse, a certified nurse assistant. So a certified nurse assistant, what they do is that you have patients or you have residents. In nursing homes, we call them residents, and in hospitals, they are patients. So these people, some of them cannot shower themselves. So you help them, you give them showers, you take out trash, you do laundry. Even if you don't have to do laundry, you have to take the laundry from their rooms to go to the laundry area. When they go to the dining table, you serve them. You serve, like the way you go to a hotel and you're serving people, that's the setting here. So you serve them. And if anything, let's assume that you're doing maybe a shower and you noted that the patient has something that is maybe different on the skin, maybe they have a cut or they have a pimple, you have to go and report to your nurse because you are working under a nurse. So that is a CNA. Now, a CNA is here in Kansas, because it depends on the state, they can be paid from $13 to $15 an hour. Now, from the CNA, you can become a med aid. And for you to become a med aid, you have to be a CNA. A med aid is whereby your work is to pass medication. So you have a computer that has all the patients, and then there are directions from the doctor. So what you do is that you just go, you pump the medication, and you take it to the patient. Then now from the med aid, and the med aid and the CNA work under the nurse.
Yes.
The LPN is you are a nurse, but there are some things that you cannot do. Like me in my level, I am an LPN. So if someone wanted to have something like blood, they were having a blood transfusion, that my license limits me to do that. If someone is having something like medicine for cancer, chemotherapy, I'm not allowed to do that. It's not because I can't do it. Yes, I can.
The license doesn't allow you to do.
Thinking, there are levels, and you're supposed to stay on your to practice within your scope. You have to stay on your lane. You can't do what you're not supposed to do, because if you do what you're not supposed to do, then they will get your license. But a nurse can do CNA work, and they can do med aid work. You see, you're there at top, but you can go low. Now, when you become an RN, it's an associate degree. That's what I want to go and get, and I'm going to get it in like 2 semesters. You're still a nurse, and you can still do the LPN work, but you find that if someone wants a blood draw, you can a blood transfusion, you can do that, and also chemotherapy, you can do that, and also you can do medicine through. There are those veins that are done all the way up to the heart. You can do those ones as an RN, but you find that the LPN is a little bit limited because they can only do like superficial. Especially when you're doing medications, like me, I can do antibiotics, I can do tube feeding, and I can do pain medication. But when it comes to something like medicine, like blood thinners, I cannot do those ones. So they give you a scope of what you're doing. And for me, because I don't like limitations, I always like to excel in what I am doing. That is why I'm going back to school, so that I can get that license, so that I am able to practice more. Yeah.